My 3-year-old niece has been talking to the devil. For context, my cousin just bought an old house with her husband and their baby girl. It's really old, like it has a tiny door on the outside where the milkman used to deliver milk, and a cellar in the basement. Anyway, I babysat their daughter Ella in the new house for the first time 2 nights ago, and I got really freaked out. The basement has low ceilings and 2 main rooms, a little kitchen and the playroom where Ella spends most of her time. There's no door between the rooms, just an opening, and there's a bathroom and the cellar off the playroom. So I watched Ella for a little over 4 hours, and we spent most of it in the playroom. There's a TV, her playpen, and a bunch of toys. At one point, I left her in her playpen to make a snack in the kitchen, and I heard faint voices from the playroom over the sound of the sink. I wondered if Ella managed to turn on the TV somehow. When I turned off the sink, the only voice I heard was hers. She was talking normally, not like she was trying to get my attention, but I said, "Be right there, sweetheart," anyway. I thought I heard her shushing someone, and as I came back from the kitchen, I heard her say something like, "Be quiet." The TV was off and she was playing with her toys. I asked her who she was talking to, and she looked down and said, "No one." I sat down next to her and said, "Come on, Ella. Who were you telling to be quiet?" Then she giggled, looked up at me and said what sounded like, "Thay-tin." I laughed at first, because it sounded like she said Satan with her little lisp. I asked her to repeat herself, and she said it again, "Thay-tin." I asked her, "What are you saying? Who's Thay-tin?" And she pointed behind me. I turned around to see she was pointing at the cellar door. I said, "The cellar? What's in there?" She repeated, "Thay-tin." I got up to look in the cellar, but suddenly I was afraid to open it. I felt ridiculous, but I was so creeped out. I asked her if there was someone in the cellar, and she nodded. I asked if he talked to her, and she said yes. I asked what he said, and she shrugged. I asked her if he opened the door, or if she saw him while I was in the kitchen, and she said no. I asked if she has ever seen him before, and she said yes. I asked what he looked like, and she said dark. Then I asked if she could draw him for me, and I gave her a paper and some crayons. She started scribbling in black, then in red. What she drew scared the crap out of me. "Here it is." I said, "What is that?" And she just said, "It's Thay-tin, go look." I did not go look. In fact, I changed the subject, put on a kid's show, and sat with my back against the wall opposite the cellar until her parents came home. I hid the drawing and waited until they put Ella to bed before talking to my cousin about it. First, I asked what was in the cellar. She said they use it as a junk room, but she doesn't go in there because it gives her bad vibes. The cellar door is positioned in a way that no light shines directly into it, and you have to walk about 10 feet in the dark before you find the pull string for the light, so she just stays out of there. Then I told her about what happened. She kind of laughed awkwardly at first, and seemed willing to chalk it up to a child's imagination. Then I showed her Ella's drawing, and she screamed. Her husband rushed over and held her as she cried, "It's the thing from my dream. It's the thing from my dream." Her husband explained that their first week in the house, my cousin fell asleep on the couch in the playroom and had a nightmare where she couldn't move from the couch, and Ella was in her playpen with that demon standing over her. When she woke up, she was alone, but the cellar door was open. She slammed it shut and ran upstairs. Apparently, it took her husband a long time to calm her down and convince her it was just a bad dream. But now that they know Ella has seen the same creature and is calling it Thay-tin, they're thinking of selling the house. Her husband is currently doing some research on the house's history, and I'm wondering if they're going to find out it was used for devil worship or something. Whatever it is, I think it's important to note that Ella is not afraid of Thay-tin. In fact, she talks about him like he's her friend.